Hello, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me, and hopefully we have captions. Welcome back to Lorelink. We are going to be streaming today as I prepare for Pathfinder's Adventure Path Quest for the Frozen Flame. Looks like I initially went live without audio because I unmuted the wrong audio. So, streaming is hard. But everything should be good now. So thank you so much for being here with us this afternoon. Last week, we started doing some prep for the next session that I'm going to be running here in a week. So if you are in that game, I'm just going to warn you now, there will be some spoilers into the stream here today. Let me double check that everything looks good, and then we will get started. Cool. I've got an eye on the chat. I do have chat open, so do please feel free to interact and let me know if you have any questions or any feedback as we go through this. One of the things I discussed last week is the importance of incorporating your players and their characters into your planning. So let's kind of take a little bit of a look at that. One of the things that I'm going to do, I don't really feel like sharing my player information on stream. I hope you could understand, but what I will do is toss some characters in here, and we're going to take a look at maybe how we can incorporate those characters into our planning just a little bit. So I'm going to start by creating some placeholders for some characters. Hayes is the bard and de facto party leader. Um, Additional details, we've got a human changeling. Pulling up some details to figure out what else I want to put in here. Changeling, there we go. Spelling, kind of valuable there. Let's look at some of their, I have access to the characters. I want to look at maybe some equipment. Because one of the things that's important, and I think I mentioned this last week, but one of the things that's really hard in an adventure like this, where you are doing lots of exploration, you're out in the wilds, you basically never see a town, is that it's really hard for the characters to gain access to upgraded equipment unless they happen to find it as you're going. What that means is that uh, if they find equipment, you want to make sure that it's equipment that's interesting to the party. One of the cool things about Pathfinder's magic item system is that, let's say the characters encounter a magical weapon that has a specific enchantment. The rune system in Pathfinder means the players don't like that weapon, but they like that enchantment. They can move that enchantment to a rune stone or move it to another weapon that they do like, so they're not losing out on it. But you've got to make sure they've got the downtime to do that and that they feel comfortable spending the downtime to do that. During part of this adventure path, the player characters are leading the following. It's this big ragtag group of people that are people and animals, honestly, that they are members of, and they're really leading them away from the enemy who is chasing them down, trying to destroy them. And you're in such a hurry, there's so much pressure to move, that the players didn't really feel comfortable pausing for some of the downtime activities that would have been beneficial. So one of the things that I need to continue to reinforce over the next few sessions is that while there's pressure to do things, they've got time. They've got time on the order of months right now. So now, if they want to spend time transferring magical runes to new weapons, if they want to spend time crafting things, they actually do have the time to do that. And so we need to make sure they feel confident about that, spending that time. But it also means that I need to make sure that they have things of interest available to them. So one of the things I look at is what is the type of equipment they have right now. Um, and that's just a note to me. There is no magic items there. We got like, that's unfortunate. So that's something to consider. And what side of, let's see, we've got do we have this is a bard, right? So I'm looking for musical instrument. All right. Okay. So we're going to save that. Okay, we'll go to the next character. And once I have the characters in here, right, it gives me a little bit better place to track some of these things, and I can um, just look right in here and keep this up to date with some of the equipment maybe that I hand them. So short description is champion or liberator. This is the, yeah, this is the going to be the tank, looks like. So we've got catfolk, um, half plate. So we've got a ghost touch maul. Earthbreaker is its name. Ghost touch maul is its game. There we go. Then we have dagger and javelin for range. Double check the equipment list really quickly. But yeah, so we do have magical items here. So magic weapon and armor. Let's come back in here really quickly. I want to, yeah, melee. There we go. Do we have abilities here? No, 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 no. Okay, yeah, we have low light vision. Looks like low light vision. Okay, cool. So let's go back to Bright Moon. I'm just thinking through still what I want to include. So I want to include abilities like low light vision and dark vision, because that can be something that you need to help the party overcome in some cases. So I want to make sure that they have what they need to overcome any uh, limitations on light sources. So there's those two. Now we're going to move to the next. Let's see. Create a character. Oops. I accidentally clicked off of that. Short description is this is a kineticist. This is going to be the Hey, party people. Well, if it isn't Delaney and the Sax Queen, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Thanks everyone who is here following along. All right, we've got kineticist. This is going to be the big boom, the boomstick. Definitely going to be a little bit flashy, showy, and doing lots of damage. All right, so let's see abilities. We've got a halfling. Do we have any low light vision, maybe? Giving a quick look. Don't see any there, so skip that for now. What do we have for melee? We've got not really a melee combatant though, or if they are, like it's going to be primarily elemental damage, not weapons, but armor is still important. Leather armor, I don't see any. I don't know that there's any magic there, so we're going to find out. No magic. Okay. All right. So that's one more. We have one more character that I need to pull in here, and then we'll be able to start doing some of our strategy. Once I have the characters in and kind of have what equipment is really important to them, then I'm going to look through the upcoming locations and the treasure that's there and see if we can't tweak some of that to better suit the available party. So one more character here. So this is our ranger plus animal companion. We've got ranged stealth. So the description here is human, no, half elf. So we've got cold resistance and low light vision. For melee, we have a short sword. Ghost touch a longbow. That's a nice one. Very good. And then for armor, we are looking at where's their armor? It is a breastplate. Okay, that makes sense. Just a normal breastplate for armor. Sorry about that. I almost sneezed on stream. And so we have one magic item. So we got magic weapon. So what we're looking at there, it looks like ranged is also okay. And so save that. So that's the party right now. Got the social creature, we got the boomstick, we got the tank, and we got the ranged DPS and stealth character. Um, we've got a pretty good idea in looking at them at what they've got or don't have. Um, pop these open. I use this all the time. It's one of the things I love about having web-based tools, quite frankly, is that I can kind of do what I want with the available tabs. All right. So digging into here, I think we're okay here for right now. Could use some magical armor there. Could use pretty much magical anything. Could use magical armor in particular, but really everything. So cool. Time now to kind of dig into what's upcoming. So let me switch my view really quickly. I'm going to show you my full screen for a minute so you can see what I'm looking at. I've got like Link up here, and then I've got the PDF of the adventure, which is what I use for planning, right? So we've been going through and setting up these different areas. So what I can do is look at what the treasure is available. So I've got a +1 low-grade cold iron longsword. Nice. Um, Now you can't transition cold iron to anything else. And so if I look here really quickly, we're using dagger, rapier, we're using dagger or sickle, we're using uh, short sword. Okay. I don't think there's any compelling reason. Let's check really quickly. So this is a ranger. Let's pull up the ranger. Well, sometimes you got to check. Hey, is this just a personal preference, or is there actually a limitation to what was trained in martial weapons? So the ranger won't have any problem using the longsword if they desire. Sometimes, especially when characters started at first level, the equipment they have is literally based upon what they were able to afford at the time, not necessarily because it's what they chose per se. So sometimes you want to give some other options. The fact that this is a longsword, cold iron +1 low grade longsword, perfect, right? At least one character can use that um, who might be interested in using it and doesn't currently have a magical melee weapon. So I think we're good there. Continuing on, looking here, no treasure. Um, yeah, we've got a symbol that will lead them onto other places, but no equipment per se. 4 bedrolls, 3 vine arrows. We got magical arrows. Cool. We have somebody that uses arrows. Great. A superb repair kit. Nice. 6 water skins. Oh, that's just evil. Okay. 2 of those water skins are poisoned. Better watch out. Um, Going to the hunter's blind. Yeah, this is an interesting one, right? So if they've met Ver, and my party has met Ver, they're very unlikely to take anything they find here if they suspect that that's who's up here, and they have reason to suspect that. So I doubt they're actually going to make off with this treasure. And that's another interesting thing, especially with this campaign versus there are some campaigns where the players feel comfortable just looting everything they come across, right? They loot everything they can find. But there are some campaigns where the players might not be interested in taking things because they might not feel appropriate. Like maybe this isn't really ours. Imagine, for the sake of argument, that you were going into kick a bunch of bad folks out of a temple, for example. You might not feel like you should be taking anything that you find in that temple unless you know for sure it belonged to the guys that had taken it over. I'm not going to be looting a bunch of the gold accessories that are found in there, right? That might not be considered a good thing to do. So Ver is actually not the big bad. Ver is one of the potential lieutenants or allies in this campaign. So, yeah, even rogues sometimes have a conscience, depending on who's playing it, right, Martine? Uh, all right, so continuing on, Ver's homestead. Yeah, clearly. Now, if Ver gives them stuff, very cool. She tells them explicitly to claim that sword they ran across. It is interesting, of course, though, if they looted that sword for themselves, despite the fact that it was clearly marking a grave, and Ver finds out about it, she can't become an ally anymore. She gets mad. But if they came here without it, she offers it up as a reward for help. Um, so it's kind of a catch 22. So here we go. A character who searches the cave finds a +1 breastplate. Ah, excellent. You'll notice that emblazoned the religious symbol of Iomade. That could be a sticking point, but you know what? +1 breastplate, we already saw. Here we go. Our ranger wears a breastplate. So that's another really good item for them to find. So no complaints there. Continuing on, go through here. Seeing the rogue and the paladin lecture the party's good cleric and matter stuff. You know what? And I love that. I really like those interactions. Uh, Welcome, Thorn. Thanks for chatting. I really like those types of interactions because, quite frankly, good and evil tend to be more black. We tend to think of them in terms of black and white, but ethics, man, there can be all kinds of different perspectives you can have on specific situations. And I have seen players make some interesting choices based upon their alignment. And what's interesting is that in the remastered version of Pathfinder, we're getting rid of alignment a little bit, right? We're moving away from that concept, but this is an age-old concept. I really love those types of things. Can you really justify the actions you're taking based upon what you've set out to do, your character background, your alignment, those types of things? I think that makes for really rich character interactions. It's a lot of fun. Kermit Flail. All right, moving into here. Poltergeists. Yeah. Treasure. We get a spirit sight ring. That's fun. That'll just be useful miscellaneous. Ah, they can run into these soldiers. These soldiers, obviously, if they defeat them, they'll get whatever equipment they have. But if they don't, they can go meet someone else. Um, Defeating some tassel worms. That's fun. Let's look at tassel worms really quickly. I don't remember those off the top of my head. Poison. Yeah. Right. What did they? Natural camouflage. Looking to see if there's any specific drops or utility to them that's listed here. Not necessarily. Okay. Looking for more treasure. And your remaining soldiers lead the party to their base. Nice. A lesser elixir of life. Hey, you know what? That's a lesser elixir, may be a a little weak at this stage in the game, quite frankly. I think what I would probably do here is crank that up just a little bit in terms of how many we offer. Um, Waymarker, Will Elder Tree, Leshies. We've got Leshies to deal with. A Verdant Staff. Okay, that's amazing. Not sure it's super useful, but it's super thematic. Um, so we're going to stick with that. Let's go ahead and look that up really quickly. Oops, typo. I really just can't type today. Okay. It's identifying plants and fungi. Huh, you could do worse. We have a bard. We have a ranger. It'll get used. Um, a deserter encampment. Fun. So, having read through this before, basically these guys are here chasing down some demons, like this guy, and they left the ongoing. They're refugees from their crusades, headed out this way. They're here chasing some things down, but they have a full camp. What that means is that they can actually offer up some basic stuff, basic supplies. We've got ammunition, arrows, bolts, or bullets. They're available to be bartered with and can even join the party. If you're able to convince them, you can get up to 30 soldiers join as followers, including a few lieutenants to the following. This would be tremendous for the overall plot of the campaign. I believe there it is. In addition to dugouts and etc., the encampment has a kitchen, field hospital, and smithy. Community meals are served 3 times a day. And so this is a place where they could potentially interact, barter, um, trade some things. Moderate potion of retaliation. Moderate bloodhound mask. A tiger manuki. I don't know what that is. Tiger formed of pewter snarls viciously from your weapon's grip. Aha. The talisman. Nice. When you activate the tiger, they fix the weapon against the sweep trait for the triggering attack and all their attacks for a minute. Nice. Um, treasure. Bird lands beside the characters, drops a fan feather token at their feet, and flies away. Sweet. Need all the allies you can get, even if it's random. Scroll of acid, invisibility potion. So the thing that I'm noticing that's missing, anti-plague, holy water, blessed ampule. All right, so one of the things that I need to do is provide some more opportunities for enchanted armor, and I need at least one enchanted thing for the bard. So, all right, let's go ahead and set up a few notes. I'm going to come back to Link. Let's focus in on this and let's do a little session planning thing. So what we're going to do, the upcoming session really quickly. Create this. I've got some of my sessions in here. I started pulling in some of the earlier sessions. Basically, I started this campaign before Link was available, so I've been backing up and putting some of this stuff in as we go along. So session 17. And we had found some soldiers talking around the giant tree. All right. currently at B17, talking with soldiers in front of a giant tree. That's where we're starting. We were asked a question at the end of the last session that I didn't have a chance to look up, which is, why are these soldiers here? So the answer to that becomes very interesting, and I've actually written that out here. I'm going to go ahead and put it. I'm going to remove this here. I'm going to save this. Planning this right now. We're going to play this on Saturday. Okay. Let's go ahead and go into the session. I'm going to add some notes now. Because I can, if you notice here, I was able to keep that secret from the players. So that's why I'm adding it as a note. I can make it visible to the players once I've been able to deliver the information to them. So I think that makes sense. The next note that I want to have in here is loot opportunities. Make sure any enemy soldiers or the burning mammoths, if they encounter any, have magical armor, right? Because I want, regardless of the nature of the armor, if it's magical, then the players will be able to move those runes over to their own armor if they like. So if I don't provide that, then they have no easy way of getting those runes. They could do it as downtime. I don't think off the top of my head that any of the player characters have the ability to create the runes from scratch, though they might. But I want them to make sure that they have those. I would like to try to find at least one musical instrument and looking back through dagger, let's see. This character is pretty well taken care of. Dagger or sickle, dagger or rapier or sling. Um, we could use some magical daggers. Would be not bad. So that would be another great thing to locate. Also, since we've got the bard, let's check something on bard. Not just look at what they're currently wielding, but what they're able to wield. So they could wield a short bow, potentially. Okay. Increase the number of potions to a minimum of 3. I want to make sure that if they're given potions or elixirs, that it's more than just 1 or 2 because they've been really light on that type of stuff. So that's a note, a reminder to me to do that during the session. Okay. Cool. So the next thing, since I'm planning the session now, you'll note that it wants the associated locations. I need to associate the location they're already at. So I put that actually in this, or in the description up here, B17. I don't think I have B17 in here yet. So let's go ahead and add a few more locations. So we're at B7 right now. Let's expand this. I'm going to add B8. The Chimera Cave. No. Um, Terrain Mountain. There is a Chimera here. And there is treasure here. And a shell necklace, silver belt bucket. Nice. Okay, cool. So we're going to save this. And now this one requires me to have a creature. Do I have a Chimera in here? I do not. So let's add that. That is the Chimera. It is an unnatural monster made of a. So there's actually a specific. Has heads of a woolly ram, snow leopard, and white dragon specifically. This Chimera has a actual description. Okay, and then we're going to, oops, I'm going to move this over, make this a little bit easier. Chimera. Just grab some of this stuff and drop it in. And save that. And then we're going to attach that Chimera to the location of the Chimera Cave. And now we have the Chimera in the cave. And you'll remember that I can attach things to an encounter and attach the counter to the location. This is a case where this creature only exists here inside of the Chimera Cave. They're not going to be moving around. There's no need for me to do that. There's lots of different ways you can pull things together, but that's what I'm doing with this for right now. Um, did they collect spores, mold, and fungus? I mean, they can. They actually totally can. Are we winning? Yeah, well, hopefully we are. Hopefully the players are winning, right? Because all the work that we do coming into here, prepping for this role-playing session as a GM, my goal is to make sure that the players have fun and feel like they have won something. That requires a couple different factors. One, that they find cool things, that they feel like they've been successful, but also that they feel like they've faced a challenge. If there's no challenge, if there's nothing, I don't know, threatening or difficult or something to overcome, just like a basic story arc, then the characters and the players won't feel like they have been super successful because they won't feel like they did anything of major importance. So treading that fine line of just the right amount of challenge is super important as well. That's been a little bit less of a concern here and is something that I generally am a lot more attentive to during the running of the session. But it's still important to me that if I know they're coming into a really hard encounter, I might either need to scale it down or think about how I can approach that in a way that gives them an advantage. The other thing is sometimes I look at an upcoming encounter and I'm like, this is supposed to be a really big, scary encounter, but it the players are going to walk all over it based upon their special abilities or the way that they have approached this. And sometimes, if it's especially if it's supposed to be a big scary monster, I will spend plenty of time reading up about the strategy on those monsters so that I run it in a way that is exciting and compelling and scary as opposed to just slash slash slash. I think it's important to try to do that. I'm not always good at doing that. That's something that I'm specifically keeping an eye out for as we work on doing some of this planning. Um, so I've got the Chimera Cave in here. All right, what's the vote? Chimera or Chimera? How do you pronounce it? I want to know. Inquiring minds. The hard k sound or the sh sound? Cool. All right, we've got another waymarker. B9 waymarker. So each of these way markers has something special about it. So this one leads to area B15. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead to B15 and add that next. Okay, there we go. And so this, we're just at B9. We're going to attach B9 to B15. No, I don't want to, let's go here. There we go. Let's associate an existing location. Okay, now those are associated. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, so this will link to B20. I'll go ahead and do that. B20 is the next way marker. It's in a mountain. They're all over the place, it looks like. But and B15 goes to B20. And B20 to B21. It is hidden. We make that bold because we really want to make a point to not accidentally leak something. It looks like there is a bit of a hazard in here, so save that. And then B21 links to B20. Okay. Back. Yeah, Lost Mammoth Valley. A lot of stuff into the caves. Let's look at all of these. So I believe, let me go back to the first way marker, B1. Actually, here, 1 second. I'm going to show my full screen again. So what I'm doing is looking back up to B1 because I may have missed this note. There it is, to B9. So let's make sure that B1 actually links to B9 correctly. Yep, let's do that. B9. Cool. So that links to B9. B9, yep, it links to B15. B15 links to B20. That's right. And B20 links to B21. Beautiful. The mountain pass. Nice. Okay, that's what I want because I want everything connected that's connected. So now I can come back into here. I need to add B10. That is the Leah of Honored Souls. So the dictionary says the K sound for chimera. Well, all right, cool. Good to know. Greek in origin, so it's a K sound. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Crimea. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Got this, this. There we go. Priest remained. All right. Beautiful. And there's going to be 2 poltergeists here as a hazard. Oh no, I did not just do that. I totally just did that. You would think that I would remember not to do that, but I do not, in fact. I sometimes just forget I haven't saved a thing, and that's a problem. There we go. Long ago. Priest remained. Creatures, yeah. And hazard. 2 poltergeists. So what we're going to do is actually link this. We're going to do this as a link as opposed to entering the creature that we may or may not need. We'll get that done and we'll save that. There's a final flight. I also need to add this hazard in here. Almost forgot about that. So that is in B10. And so that's the reset. And that is how you solve the problem. If they do the thing, there's a little sub quest in here. And you can get some more information. You can get some loot as a result of doing that little sub quest, putting a spirit to rest. Okay. And this goes to B3. So I want to go ahead and associate B3. Okay. Double checking. I think that is the only other location that is in there. Okay. So next location, B11. Scar. The deserters in B12. Nova Nexus started the fire. Okay. B12 Forest Patrol. Okay. This dense shadowy force occupied by the Mendevians who abandoned the Crusades alongside Ilan and Versi areas B2 and B7. B2, B7, B15. There's a bunch of associated locations here. Boom. Okay. Save that. So that is B13. So now, go back to my session. 17. Oh, was it B17, not B13? My bad. Oh, they found a different location. So let's do a thing really quick. Let's go back to our list of locations. Go to the Lost Mammoth Valley. And let's start to fill in some things on the map. So this will make it a little bit easier for me to keep track. I'm in edit mode, so I'm going to add B5. Hilltop Camp is there. B6, B7, B8. Chimera Cave. B9. The way marker. Go B10. Yep. Let's move that a little bit. Okay. And go back to edit. Let's go to B11. And B12. I have not done B13 yet. There we go. And so now I need to add B13, but this helps us keep track of where we've been, what we've added. So the players haven't come down here yet. They skipped straight ahead into this area, which is why the path that they followed is out of numerical order. In fact, if you notice, the numbers have kind of been bouncing around a little bit. So 13's down here, but 14's up here, right? Like, it's very obvious that while the people creating the adventure needed to organize things in a specific way, that's not necessarily the path your players are going to take. And this is one of the challenges of GM, right? Like, if I plan these in numerical order, it's guaranteed that I'm going to miss some things. But if I get too far, like if I'm planning out here and the players are over here, they're not likely to make a beeline right for the end of the area without exploring anything. But they might just choose to skip over things. Maybe they're going to follow the river, which is basically what they've been doing. Maybe your players are like, I'm going to avoid the river like the plague. I want to go through the forests and scout around. That's totally valid. Part of it is a guessing game. What are your specific player's going to do, right? So let's go ahead and create a new location. B13, Worm Den. And it is hidden. As always, we're going to mark, I'm going to make that bold so I don't overlook it. A map of this location appears on page 26. B12 links to here. Okay. So we're going to save this, add it here. And then we're going to save this. Let's go to B13. Let's link this to B12. No, not a game location. That's what I'm looking for. All right. If we go back into B12 and look at the text, it links to B13, B2, and B7. This doesn't really need linked. It's just informationally. What I can do if I want, sorry, locations. Rather than just linking them, I can create a hyperlink inside like this. Right now I have accomplished the same thing, and when I look down in the preview, it's going to tell me what those locations are by name and hyperlink me to them. So that was useful. Any other locations? B13, 16, and 23. All right, well, we'll go ahead and create some new locations. Actually, the worm den. So the worm den is super interesting in that there's things inside of it. So I'm going to skip the worm den for just a second, and we're going to go to 14, 15, and 16. And then we'll do that dark camp. Matuak is a historical creature. He is the guy that stole the primordial flame, which is what the players are seeking. It's an ancient artifact of their people that they are out and searching for. We've got shadows. Oh, and we'll add. Yeah, I cannot copy that. All right, that's fun. Initiative. Stealth plus 14. Okay. And let's go ahead and look up the link for shadow. The creature shadow, not the trait shadow. There we go. Two shadows. Okay. And that is 14. I do actually need to do one little note on that. I just reread that. So B14, dark camp. Oops, I did not put that in the right location. So let's move that to the Lost Mammoth Valley. And while we're in here, Let's make a super. All right. Hold that. I'm actually going to move this into the read aloud because I'm not necessarily going to read aloud, but I am if a character wearing Mituax pendant comes in. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Okay. A B15 waymarker, I believe we already have B15 in our list of locations. Yep, and then B16, the wilt. Oop. And this is one of the fun things that happens sometimes copying out of a PDF. So but I'm too lazy to type it all, so I'm going to do it one line at a time. So one of the things that I would really like to see us be able to do is partner with more content creators to get a lot of content like pre-added to Lorelink. How awesome would it be if Canned Adventures were just available for you without you having to do all this work yourself? But obviously, a lot of GMs do their own custom content, so in that case, you're on your own to put it in yourself. And I'm going to do Tony a solid and not sing the tune so that player's going to play. Thanks y'all for being here, by the way. It's a lot more fun reading the chat and interacting with everybody. Appreciate the feedback as we go through and do this planning session together. I'm going to go ahead and save. I think, yep, that's it. I'm going to save that. And the last one that I wanted to get in for right now is B17, Elder Tree. Yeah, that's not ideal. So sometimes PDFs are in columns correctly the way you would expect, and sometimes they do this. So don't love it, to be honest. I'm going to finish this later probably. I'm just going to stuff this initial section in and then go connect some things together, which is more interesting to what we're trying to accomplish for this next session. So for right now, I'm going to save, I'm going to save that. I want to move it back into Lost Mammoth Valley correctly. Then we're going to go back to, I believe it was Forest Patrol at B13. Let's link to B13. And B16, we're going to go ahead and link 13 and 16. We've got that, so we're going to do B16. Now that we've added it, I don't have 23 in yet, so I'm going to skip that. Okay, it looks like that's what we needed to put in, so that's good. Let's go back up a level. Actually, let's go back into the Lost Mammoth Valley. Let's add this last couple locations. So we've got 14. We've got 15. We've got 16. And we've got 17. adjust these ever so slightly. Save that. And now we're going to go expand on the Tatzelworm location just a little bit. So that is the worm den. Scroll back in here. Okay. The worm den, do I have a map for that? Give me a second. I'm going to go look and see if I have a map specifically for the worm den. I do. Okay. I'm going to find out if that actually does the right thing. Sometimes you can just right click and export out of the PDF. Sometimes not so much. We're going to switch to the Quest for the Frozen Flame. We're going to upload a new image. Or link stream worm den. Nope, it just did the border of the frame. I'll do it later. I need to actually use my image cutting tools to pull that one in, I guess. But you've got a couple different locations, A and B. So what we're going to do now is create sublocations here. So click create a location inside of the worm den. And this is going to be B13A approach. And we get to nest these together, which is a feature that I love because I really like the hierarchical ness of locations in Lorelink. It's exactly how I tend to think about things. So we're going to pull up the Tatzelworm. We're going to link Tatzelworm. There we go. Save that. And then we have the actual layer. We're going to create a new location. Something about the word Tatzelworm that just does not work the way my brain thinks it should be spelled based on the way it sounds. All right, there's that. There's the description. Creatures. And then we have two, oh, as jungle drakes. Nice. So let's look up jungle drake. And I will eventually pull these into Lorelink, probably, but for now I'm just going to link to PFSRD. And that's the thing, you always have the choice. Like anything that's custom one-off, anything that exists in the PDF, I'm definitely going to put into Lorelink. But if it's something I can just link out to PFSRD, I'd rather just create the link and move about my day. It saves me time. And that's one of the great things about what we're doing in FloorLink is we're making it easy to do things like integrate with the external sources. Um, we actually have the full index of PFSRD in our stuff from Archives of Nethys to be able to pull it in and search for stuff and pull it right in. We're wanting to do that with a lot more systems as well. So as jungle drakes, so we're going to do that. So make that a hyperlink, and we're going to save that. So I need to add a little bit more detail to that. So we can drill way down now. There's the worm den, there's the tassel worm lair. The opportunity for new followers. The party has the opportunity to tell the tassel worm leaders they oppose Venexus. Whoever survives offers to join their battle. All right, aftermath and treasure. What did I say before? Give the party 4 lesser elixirs of life. We're gonna upgrade that treasure just a little bit. There we go. And maybe even lesser is inappropriate. Let's look at elixir of life really quickly. Minor is 1d6, lesser is 3d6 plus. Yeah, okay, that's acceptable. I was thinking minor. Minor would have sucked, but lesser's okay. We'll do a few of them. Make that a little bit nicer. Cool. And that's not overpoweringly nice. So, Martine, are you Rick rolling us right now? I would gladly send you a whole box of elixirs of life if I could do that 20. I would be happy to. All right, so let's go back to the locations on the map. Lost Mammoth Valley, we've got all these in here now. Um, More than likely, this is going to be a big chunk of what the party's going to do because they made it over here, but they left a lot of these. They've only done about half of these areas so far. I'm probably going to go ahead and add just a couple more. So let's go ahead. I've got a little bit of time left. I'm going to go ahead and add B18 at least. They're unlikely to go all the way up to B19. That feels like a detour, but we're going to still do these in order really quickly. So B18. Here, I'm going to switch our view back real quick. I think it's easier to see what's going on inside of LoreLink if I do that. Um, B18 is the deserter encampment. This is going to be a super important location for the players. It is in fact hidden. It's in the forest. PDF is doing that thing that I hate right now, so I need to add Commander Montgrim, I think, to my list of peeps. So I'll probably need to pull him in as an actor of sorts. And one of the challenges when you are running a game and doing planning is, and Lurlink kind of exposes this a little bit. When is a named character just a line item in a location, and when do they need to have their own character sheet, right? Um, and it's kind of up to you to figure that out. And unfortunately, a lot of times that decision happens on the fly during a session when the players decide that a specific NPC is extra special important and you're stuck coming up with things on the fly. In that situation, um, I think long term it would be really awesome if we had some tools to help you build out your NPCs on the fly. Actually, there's a lot of third-party tools that do that already. Maybe we could integrate with them. But I think that the short-term answer is that you create a note on the fly, and our notes system is really easy to work with. And from basically anywhere in the application, you can say, I need to add a note. Click that, add the note, type up the details that you interact with the players about regarding that NPC and save it. You can save it to the session, you can save it to the location, wherever it makes sense, wherever you are inside of Lurelink at the time that things are happening. And then when you're planning the next session, you have all those notes so that you can actually spend time between sessions putting together the extra details about that new NPC or character. Um, Deserter encampment. 13, 17, and 24. Yeah, all right. Nope. B13. B17. And I don't have the 24 in yet. Did I actually get the treasure in here? Let me make sure. I did not. After the party defeats Turek. Okay. So this location also gives like a specific quest, right? Which is to go after Turkic and her minions in Area B32. So this is one of Ashen Swale's lieutenants. We're going to have to go after the Ashen Towers under the command of Turkic. So that's going to be kind of a new stretch goal for the party. We're going to make a note plot, note, right? That's just a note for me. Make sure that I don't miss it. There's a lot of text, a lot of things to skim over, and I want to make sure that the important relevant bits are read at the right moment during the actual session. The whole point of doing this planning is to make sure that the session itself goes really smoothly. Um, can you run a session straight out of the PDF? Yes. Do I like doing it? No, because then I don't have my notes about how I want to change the loot, how I might want to scale the encounters or the different events that are going to occur. Maybe I want to make notes about the things we're going to talk about. So for example, what we saw earlier in my session notes for this upcoming session is that I have done some investigation on this question that was asked during the last session. I now have an answer regarding that. This is why they're here. This is a little bit of what they're up to. For more details, they're going to have to go talk to the commander, but that should be enough to get them what they want. Um, I want to have those details in there. I like to have everything hyperlinked between the locations because scrolling up and down in the PDF to look for details that are in one place versus another place is really a pain in the butt. However, if I am in a location, like let me go to view mode really quickly. So I'm inside of the Lost Mammoth Valley. Let's say that they are at this location here and in the Wilt. No, not yet. And say they're at the Port Forest Patrol and they can be told about these different locations. From the Port Forest Control, they're going to straight to the Worm Den, right? Now I'm at the Worm Den looking at some stuff. Oh, they came from the, hold on. Let's go back and read anything I need to read there, right? I can just click back and forth between the locations, super easy. And it's not hard for me to figure out what's associated. And I can associate a different additional things as I want to. And I can always at any moment click and add a note and save that as we're going through the session. So that is, I think, about it. I've got the initial session planned, and session planning, you can attach as many things as you want, but I can get to a lot of things from here. So let me come back to edit really quickly. I'm not, I didn't link the locations. Go ahead and link the location B17 because that's really the thing that I need in here because that tells me where to start. All right, now if I flip back to view mode, I come in here when I'm ready to start the session, and you notice that completed flag, I can flip that whenever they've actually done what they need to do at that location. But I can click into the elder tree and we're off. Where are we going to go? Are they going to talk to these guys and go to the deserter encampment? Entirely possible. I would say even that's likely. Um, maybe they'll decide to do some more things. But that's the starting point for the session. I can always come back into the session and see what's going on here. So another thing that I can do, these are all active. I'm going to come in here and for these older ones, I'm going to edit them. Planning status completed, and these are archived because they've already been played. And that will take them out of my list and make my life just a little bit easier the next time I come in here. So and you don't have to archive them after you're done running the session, but I tend to only want to keep a couple, like this one right now. Planning is completed, not really completed, but close enough. We're completed. Our planning is completed for the next session. So I come in here, planning is completed. It's an active one. This is the next one, so I don't have very far to go to look for more. If I would like to see the show archive, I can look at the archived ones as well and look at them at any point in time. I'm probably not going to archive this one until session 18 is prepared. Talk to people. Well, some of you are actually social creatures that like to interact, at least at least your characters do that. I wouldn't want to stretch too far about the players themselves. If it wasn't for role playing, some of us might never talk to another human being. That's just the way it goes. Cool, cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me this evening. I think that's about where I'm going to wrap it up. We've got a good long list of stuff here. I'm going to go ahead and pull up our streaming schedule for you. Tomorrow, Mark Delacroce is going to be back on stream. He's going to be preparing for the Blades in the Dark game. I would encourage you to follow along there as he does the finishing touches on that prep. And then this Friday, the 19th, we're going to be playing. So we're going to be all afternoon, at least afternoon Eastern time. We're going to be running through the Blades in the Dark game that Mark has been planning on stream, and we'll actually run that session. So I'm looking forward to that. I would love it if you would join us here. Another reminder, we've gotten a couple followers today, so thank you, thank you, thank you. Please tell your friends, tell your family, have everyone follow us. We need 9 more followers on our Twitch channel in order to hit our goal of affiliate this month. So it'd be really great if you could help us out in that way. Really appreciate it. So thank you all for being here tonight. Had a great time. Uh, wish you the very best and stay warm. Talk to you all next time.